It's time to shoot some hoops. Get ready for the thrill. NBA SA is on. Let's see who got the skill. From dunks to three-pointers, we got it all for you. Tune in and join the action. There's nothing else to do. NBA SA, NBA SA, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
We go live in 3, 2.
What's up, everybody? We doing left and right, Tommy. We are back to a virtual show. First of all, the first point of order. Kirk, can we give Timmy a round of applause on the birth of his second child?
Well done, Timmy. Well done, Timmy.
Congratulations to many more nights of little
and late night recordings.
And late night recordings.
Late night soft recordings. Late night soft recordings. Yeah, because as much as you congratulated me, I did none of the heavy lifting.
Very low key.
In this week's episode, we talk about the Celtics. I think the Celtics look dangerous, and we're going to talk about them because I really think that Jason Tatum is on track to becoming the MVP of the finals and taking it all, and we'll discuss a lot of that. We're not going to do another round of Liam's Lambada because Liam isn't here, but we might have a little game sometime, who knows? And then later on in the show, we're talking about the Sacramento Kings, and we really can't believe that they're still this good. All this and a lot more that I will answer Kirk's little hand a little bit later in the show after these.
Hey, we made it. Nigga, we made it. Hey, damn, we made it. Nigga, we made it.
Welcome back to the show. Timmy, I want to start with you, bro. The Boston Celtics look dangerous. I read up on Jason Tatum. His career average at the moment is 22, 7, and 4. And currently this season, he is 39 and 5. That's a big jump. To me, I really believe the Celtics can go all the way. Who's standing in their way, bro?
So I completely agree with you. I think that the Celtics are one talented, they're deep, they've got high-end talent. I think Tatum is great. I think people criticize him a little bit about not being completely dominant and taking things over and forcing his last shot. I happen to disagree with all of that. I enjoy his decision making. I enjoy the fact that he trusts his teammates. But if you are asking who stands in their way, right? I think that there are three things that are probably going to stand in their way. One, Milwaukee, because I still think Milwaukee's better, right? And I trust them more. Two, don't sleep on Philly. Philly are beasts, right? And although Philly probably don't really enjoy the matchup with Boston, right? There's no chance anybody in Boston could guard Embiid. I think he's going to be an absolute nightmare for them. And then interestingly, I think that the third biggest factor of Boston fumbling the bag is actually their coach. First time coach. He seems to be a little bit of an oddball. He's quite polarizing, I think, even in Boston. He makes some odd decisions. He gets stubborn with some of his rotations, and all that's normal. But I suppose they've gone through and earned their stripes and lost in big moments. And he was there as an assistant, but it is different when you're the final person making the call and all that pressure sits on him. And he hasn't been tested in that way. And so I think those are the three biggest reasons if we're going to exclude the potential fourth of injury, and let's not talk about that.
Teddy, your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Timmy. For me, the biggest hurdle is the coach. He's untested, and in those big moments, is he going to be able to make the right calls? Again, you know my views on Tatum. Everything up to this point is, yeah, we know they can do it. It's going to be in that game 7, in that game 6, easy going to be able to make the right decisions, easy going to be able to step up, easy going to be able to lead them from the front. I'm not a big fan of players disappearing in big games, and he tends to do that. So we'll see. I mean, they very well can make the finals. They very well can win the finals. A lot hangs on those two aspects: how the coach navigates through coming up against experienced coaches and guys that are tried and tested, as well as how Tatum handles the big moment. Again, teams that are going to stand in the way. There's the big Greek freak, and I think for me, he's the road to the final is through he's through the freak.
Okay. Lekker. Listen, let's move straight on. Sacramento Kings. Kirk, I'm going to start with you, bro. I am very surprised at how good they are this deep in the season. With a lot of these teams, we often have found they start very well, like the Utah Jazz, and now they obviously with the Lakers trying to make it into the West. But a lot of these teams start well, and then deeper into the season they start fading away, and the really good teams start making a little stretch, right? And Sacramento was one of those teams we never even really spoke about, but now there's a minimum amount of games left. Sacramento are still really good. Give me your overall thoughts, bro. I know we spoke about them before, but now I feel like it's a little bit different because we're so close to the playoffs and they're playing so well. So give me your thoughts, bro, now that we've seen what we've seen.
Yeah, so again, like we said previously, they play a brand of basketball that is entertaining. If you enjoy ball movement and not a bunch of ISOs, then they are fun to watch because they create for each other. They make the extra pass. They make the extra pass. They look for the good bucket. Then you've got a guy like Fox who can take the game over at any moment. They can put the ball in his hands and he can create his own shot, and he's just fucking good at it. You've got Sabonis, who's sort of
a walking double. Just every day, doubles for breakfast, doubles for lunch.
He's like a nice Draymond Green. He's like a Draymond Green that everybody can like.
Love that. Timmy, do you find are you done, Kirk? Sorry?
I am now, clearly.
No, but I want to ask them this question. Do you find Sacramento basketball entertaining?
100%. 100% for two reasons. One, that ball is flying around. And so just philosophically, I enjoy that. Right? Two, the two primary sources. One is a point guard that will also distribute, and the other one's a big man who can pass. Right? And actually, I suppose for those of you who are older, Sabonis' father, Avida, yeah, I can't remember. Some of you might see highlights from him when he came out of Europe into the NBA as a big man who could pass the ball, and he was chucking behind the back passes, and I don't think that the world really truly saw him until much too late in his career. And it is awesome to watch his son now become a star. He also really enjoys passing the ball. He's a big, strong dude, but don't sleep on all of his other skills, and that's always great for me. They're not scared of anybody, and each of the players know their roles, and I think that there's magic when a team everything works, and they know the roles and they stay in the lane and they support each other, and that crowd is fantastic. It really is. They are so excited for that team to win. It's a good story. It's a good feel-good story. It's a Disney movie in the making, right? So yes, hell of entertaining. And I think, in fairness, Kirk's been saying that from very early on. right?
Yeah.
Even when the record was sort of doubtful, it was like watch them. They're doing some entertaining stuff.
Mm. Mm. Kirk, give me your thoughts on Sacramento's coach. You got a team that has a fan base with an expectation now, right? Can the coach do it? Do you know enough, KD? Is he the
So,
type of coach that can take them deep into the playoffs?
so they're actually sitting in a nice place for a coach to be, because if they don't win it, it won't be a disappointment. It will be like whatever happens into the playoffs is gravy because it's unexpected. So while there is an expectation, if they don't win it, it will be like, you know what, that was a fantastic run. If they so there's sort of no pressure almost on him making a run at it. Did he? No. Did he? Does he own any titles? I know he was an assistant coach with Golden State when they won. Um, was
Did,
he head
did he
coach?
win with Cleveland? I don't know if he won with Cleveland or not.
No, thingy. Time was won it with Cleveland.
Yeah, Ty Lue wanted with Cleveland.
Yeah,
I think he only won as an assistant with Golden State.
with Golden State. Yeah, but I mean, he's been on a lot of good teams. I mean, was he head coach? Was he head coach with LeBron, or was he assistant coach with LeBron? I think he was head coach with LeBron
There
the
was a
first
season.
time in LeBron's first time in Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah.
Or was it the second time? I can't remember. But I mean, he's well traveled, and he's got a lot of yards under his belt. So I think he's in a good situation, coming from that Golden State culture, and it looks like they do a lot of similar things. And um, like I said, I think he's on a winning wicket in that there's sort of no expectation to succeed. So if they do, it's all gravy. Yeah. So I believe they can give it a run, but again, Denver is for me. Denver is the way into the finals in the West. Although Denver have been faltering, they've been looking a bit vulnerable over the last few weeks.
Mm.
I don't know if that's just regular season, a wind down and prepping for the waiting for the playoffs to start now. Who knows?
Maybe
To me, as a
sorry,
Go
Wiz,
for it.
maybe I could just add a couple of things to what Kirk said about the coach. Fundamentally, because I raised Mazzulla as a potential question mark from the Celtics, right? He's a first time head coach, right? He's only ever been an assistant, right? Whereas actually Mike Brown, he's been around for a while. He
Yeah.
came out of the Popovich area and he won with San Antonio there,
Oh,
right?
okay. Wow.
He also spent some time at the Pacers with Rick Carlisle. I mean, these are proper coaches, right? Then he had his own couple of stints at Cleveland. He coached some superstars at the Lakers. He was head coach of the Lakers when Steve Nash, Dwight Howard them were around, right? Where things have failed, right? He has, I mean, I think he coached the LeBron area, and then obviously he was with the Golden State. So he's been an assistant coach where things have worked, and he's been a head coach where things haven't. Like he's earned these stripes, right?
He was head coach with Cleveland when they made one of the finals. Yeah.
There you go. And
Yeah.
so I think all of those things matter. You remember all of those things. You often learn more from some of the failures than you do. And so that's why, yeah, I suppose you got to say, well, he has to prove it first, but at the same stage, at least he's been there a few times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To add to maybe go this way. To me, you follow a team that is heavily dependent on their superstar, right? Sacramento is entering the playoffs and basically have two stars, right? Kirk, I'm going to ask you the same question, but Timmy, I want you to answer first. What do you need from De'Aaron Fox or Sabonis for them to even think of making the next round of the playoffs? What do you need from those superstars? What do you need?
So just watching, and I'm going to answer this through the perspective of what Dallas did last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your superstars need to do nothing different from the regular season to the playoffs. What will really be a determining factor is, right, because now they've got the home court advantage, right? And one of the biggest things about home court advantage in my mind, besides the fact that you've got 20,000 people sort of screaming, the reality is that your role players tend to shoot better in those scenarios. Yeah. Your role players need to make their shots. The only reason Dallas went through, right, and made a run to the conference finals is because everybody else turned into human fireballs. Yeah. They just couldn't miss. Right. And Luka did the same thing he did for the entire season. Right. They mustn't change what they're doing. Sabonis and Fox need to continue to just do the same things that they are doing, right? And the role players, they must hit their shots. Right? If they hit their shots, they'll cruise through at least the first round, right? Then they're likely to hit Memphis in the second. And so long as they don't get rattled by them, right? I think that they could take them as well. And then, like I said, then they face in all likelihood the Nuggets. And then I wouldn't be so confident in what they have. But it'll be fun.
Katie, your thoughts, bro. What do the stars need to do? Do they need to do more than what Tim is saying? Do we actually need them to double up? Do you agree with Timmy? Is it about the bench then?
100%. I mean, your stars just need to deliver their averages. If your stars deliver their averages, if you get what's expected out of them, and your role players pitch up, then you're in a good position to do well throughout the playoffs. And yeah, I agree with Timmy. It's if your open guys can make their shots when they are required to, and if you go back through many big games in deciding games or in pivotal games, it's that unexpected contribution that people didn't see coming that generally tips the scale. It's somebody coming off the bench hitting a quick three, a quick few jumpers, making a big shot in the closeout. It's those little margins that give you the edge. It's somebody coming in grabbing 10 rebounds unexpectedly, or to the rest of us unexpectedly. But it's those role players that they depend on to get them through the arms, and then it's your superstars making the right decisions in the big moments.
Lovely. Thank you, gentlemen. After the break, we do what Tim likes to call the soapbox, but I'm changing the name. We are calling it What's Hot in the NBA. Catch you after the break. Leftover right. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome.
Hot in the NBA. Katie, talk to me.
What's getting me up in the morning? Well, what's keeping me up at night and what's waking me up in the morning is the Western Conference standings. More importantly, position 9, 10, and 11. Currently, 9, 10, and 11 can be any one of, not so much the Dallas Mavericks, actually. I don't think. It's more the race between the Lakers, Utah Jazz, and the Pelicans. Although the Mavs
and OKC.
No, OKC's. I mean, look, potentially, yes. But I think it's going to come down to Lakers, Utah, and New Orleans. Dallas crept into that race sneakily because they've been fumbling a few bags along the way. But wait, Timmy, breathe, it's okay. I think they're going to be okay now that Luke is back, and now that hopefully Kyrie's back. I see Kyrie's also in and out with injuries, but I think they'll do enough to stay inside of the play-in. They're not going to fall out of the play-in run. I don't believe. One of Utah or New Orleans will fall out. I believe. I suspect it's going to be Utah. Interestingly enough, Utah. The NBA couldn't have scripted this better because Utah and the Lakers play each other twice in the run-in. So basically, if you can win both those games, you you stand a good chance of securing the play-in.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and it's so exciting because every morning you wake up like, how the fuck did Utah lose to Houston, or how the fuck did Utah lose to Portland?
Yeah.
Like after they smashed the Suns, and you're like, hey, easy win. Then
Yeah.
they're cruising and they go drop a fucking nugget on Portland, who won like a 6-game losing streak or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that run to the play-in is super, super, super interesting for me. I'm not even concerned about the top seeds because they'll sort themselves out, and we'll start paying attention to that once the playoffs start. The other interesting thing that I wanted to mention is the Ja story. After talk around the suspension and how long he was going to get suspended and how long he was going to sit, I just started picking up on listening to various people's views on what was going on, and it's such a fascinating dynamic, like around his parents and how his parents have a role in like the path that he's going down, and just interesting things around Memphis, the city itself, and how just the makeup of what's around him is impacting. And it's such an interesting story, and people's views on it. And the interesting thing that stood out for me was the fact that apparently in Memphis, you got a bunch of men so that it's they gangsters, but like, and if you a notable person, a person of stature, and you do a dumb thing like pull a gun out on camera and act like a thug, they'll be like, I think I can smoke this, bruh. And they will come to your house and shoot you because they know you're not going to shoot them. So it's like they almost take it as a challenge. Apparently, it happened to a rapper a few months ago who did the same thing. And somehow just rolled up on him and smoked him because it was like, oh, you want to be street? Let's see how street you are. Pa, 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 pa. And like, that's a real concern for.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So hopefully that thing settles itself. But the other thing is, it looks like it's just a patch and solution job at the moment, just to get back to status quo. But I feel there's going to be some underlying things that will come out in the future if it doesn't get resolved. Yeah. But that's such an interesting story to follow.
And then he comes back, and in his first game, did you see that poster dunk that he put
Maybe,
on?
bro.
Almost like nothing affected him. Nothing affected him.
That's the caps he should be popping off, not fucking.
Man, put on that mask. He became Batman. Yeah. The weight that these guys can carry is unbelievable. Actually, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You need to be a bit different.
Yeah.
To me, over to you, brother. What's hot?
So I got three things to talk about. The first one is linked to what Kirk is talking about, right? The Western Conference, actually also in the East to a degree that run into the plane. If you are 8 through 12, right? And that theme is desperation is kicking in, and that's not only in the results, right? It's also in the flavor of the interviews and the headlines you're going to start coming through. All of a sudden, people are complaining about refs. They are taking the league and arguing about 2 points here or there. You know what? The reality is the refs are the same. The rest are the same, right? They're no different, but people are just a little bit more desperate, right? And I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all of it
Yeah.
because it makes the shit more entertaining. And yes,
Yeah.
I'm referring to Cuban. I'm also referring to Van Vliet, right? I'm referring to the Suns head coach, Monty Williams, right, who was complaining about the disparity in free throws a couple of games ago, right? It is getting spicy all over the place. That's the first piece. If you see a lot of that in the headlines, right, don't think it's about the rest. There's nothing going on other than people are getting desperate, right?
Yeah.
Then the next thing I wanna talk about, because it feels like a lot of the conversation when we head into playoffs, right? People try and say that their team is the best because of depth, right? Oh, my team's got depth, and the depth is gonna carry them through the playoffs, right? Oh shit. Depth by the time you get into the playoffs means fuck all. You'll hear comments like the NBA is a hit or miss league, right? Big swings win. The reality is, right, that teams who get the best few players, right, and surround them with a semblance of competence, right, are likely to be the ones that go through, right, to take it all the way in an injury-free way. The reality is, right, that you'll get a star and you'll be great, right? You'll have some people behind him, right? That's just backup. It's insurance, right? But the reality is that insurance is only for the regular season, right? Because if my team is playing your team and my star player goes down, my backup insurance will never match your star player. I'm losing. Yeah. So whenever you hear that depth argument, that's cool for the regular season, right? Never listen to anybody who is saying that depth is going to take his team through the playoffs and to win it all. Yeah. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, because it's linked to potentially the first two, right? And this one's a little bit of a sad moment, right? Is that's the Clippers, right? The Clippers were starting to look scary, right? And it just went sad, right? And I'm legit sad for them, right?
The
I'm a,
Clippers,
yeah,
to me, the Clippers are
the,
Liverpool
the Tugum.
of basketball.
I mean, the irony of that, since LeBron owns part of Liverpool and plays for the Lakers, that's.
Neither here nor there.
They
But
are so disappointing.
but look, yeah, I love Russ, right? I love the fact that he went there and he was making an impact. I love the fact that he was playing well, especially with PG, like they did at the Thunder. Kawhi was looking like an MVP, and more importantly, he was actually playing in games, right? He played the great majority of their last 30 games, right? That's fantastic. Um, and then I'm also a massive fan of PG, right? That dunk that he did in the game that he got injured. I'm not sure if you saw that. That was
The
mad.
360.
A
Yeah.
360 against defense in a game. That is crazy, right? I believe that he's the glue of that team. He's always seemed to be a great teammate to the people he plays with, right? He's the link in between everything, and the fact that everything seemed to come right, and then that happened to the glue. Ah, that's that's sad. And that's coming from somebody who was suffered at the hands of the Clippers in the playoffs
First hand.
twice. Right? And I suppose you gain a healthy dose of respect for that team, right? I would have preferred if somebody beat them. But for them to go out because of injury like this, that's uncool. That's not what we have to watch. Yeah.
It's like Paul George's injury to the Clippers is like Brooklyn losing Kyrie and Kevin. Opportunity weg, klaar.
I thought you were going to start talking about Liverpool. I was like, it's like them losing Mane,
No,
Mane,
it's just
Sadio,
crazy.
Mane.
It's just
Man,
crazy
yeah.
how
Soccer reference,
Ooh,
right?
look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Said the
Hey?
rest
it's
of
just
you.
crazy how man.
Yeah.
In even though basketball is a team sport, it's so reliant on one guy more often than not. It's so reliant. So like just on the Clippers situation, that's a really good team that had a lot. Like this is a massive opportunity for them to really do well. And this injury is like your.
Case in point, the whole season long, they were like, "Oh, the Clippers have all the wings in the world. They've got so much depth in wings, right?" PG goes down, and everybody goes, "Klar, they're over. Depth good. Nobody cares."
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, boys. That's it for tonight. Thanks so much. Timmy, go sleep, go and rest, go get as much rest as you can.
I'm gonna go clean some
Kirk,
bottles.
I don't think Kirk sleeps. Actually, I don't. Kirk, how many hours do you sleep a night, Kirk?
I'm actually sleeping right now.
The bra has a
fellas.
coffin. It's actually his tomb in the background there.
I do intermittent sleeping.
15 minutes every hour.
Every time you ask me a question,
I'm like,
Kirk's like, nah, Tim's at least gonna talk for 2 minutes. I got a good one, dude. It will make sounds like
that's just the way he snores.
All right, fellas, peace out. See you all next week.
yeah.